Once you've finished inking and erasing your pencil and attaching tape around the border, we are going to start painting this. We will be creating a value scale going from dark at the top to light at the bottom. It's helpful to turn it sideways so that you can work with your brush pulling downward. We're going to start with the main color, get lighter towards the right, and then we're going to come back to the main color and add black so it's darker towards the left. Now we're going to mix our color. So I'm mixing a blue-green, so I am going to just get that nice and wet, and then I'm going to scrape off the color into my paint pan. I'm going to do this until I get enough to work with. You really don't need a lot because we're actually going to be adding water, so this is a little excessive. But you're going to rinse that out before getting your other color if you're mixing a color. Otherwise, you would just leave it like that. Okay. Then you are going to really try and mix it together if you are using two separate analogous colors to try and get it as even as possible before we start painting. Alright, we are going to start right in the middle, and I'm just going to paint right over the edges of the tape. I'm not worrying that it is perfectly even yet. I'm just trying to get a nice, wide enough little spot. And I'm just going to go over it to try and get it as even as possible. Don't go over it too much because it will start to kind of eat away at your paper. Now I'm going to dip my paintbrush once and add that water in. Mix it in nice and even. Wipe it off. Now leave space between your different values, okay? If these two values were to touch, they would just bleed into each other and mix into one kind of value. So every time you are just going to add a little bit more water to lighten it up and then leave that little strip in between. You can even use a paper towel to dab things up to make them a little bit lighter. Now for the shades, we're going to have to add some black. I've already mixed up the same color that I started with last time before adding water. I'm going to get this black paint pan nice and wet. Okay, not a huge pool, just a little one. Make sure to completely rinse out your brush first, okay? And then you're going to dry it out on your paper towel. We don't want any extra water in that color. So I'm going to just barely touch the corner into the black. A little bit of black pigment goes a long way. Okay? Trying to show you how much black I got on it. You can see I just kind of dipped the corner. And it didn't change it a whole lot, so I'm just going to try and get a tiny bit more. Yep, there we go. Like I said, a little bit makes it a lot darker. So I'm going to wipe the excess off, leaving a little bit of space between my middle value. I am going to paint this in, going over the tape. And just trying to get it even. Then I'm just going to dip my paintbrush back into a little bit of black, just the little corner, and get my last shade for the top of my bookmark. And once you are done painting all of your separate values and getting them even, you are going to let this dry before the next step. And that's it for painting the value scale.